Today on Florida Sportsman Best Boat, for anglers with an addiction to stalking gamefish that roam the skinniest of waters, we'll be taking a look at the Salt Marsh Heron 18.
This boat is designed for skinny water, and we got as skinny as you could get. This thing is a shallow water demon.
For those serious about offshore sport fishing, we'll be looking at the Dusky 252T.
While the 25 bottom remains unchanged, they've done a terrific job with the 252T of bringing this boat up to speed.
And if you require a very capable blue water fishing machine that doesn't give up family features, we'll be taking a look at the Blackfin 332cc.
This boat made me feel like I was at Disney World. It had everything. Possibilities were endless.
All coming up on Florida Sportsman Best Boat.
Welcome to another episode of Florida Sportsman Best Boat. Guys, how lucky are we that we get to look at all these cool boats, but more importantly, we get to bring a look at these boats to you, our viewers. We're going to start the show this week with a boat that I know a lot about because I've got one. The Heron 18 from Salt Marsh. This boat is, a great example of how far flats boats have come. The technology is advanced and the boat designs, the hull designs have advanced with it. Things have changed a lot in the last 25 years in flats boat, and this boat is at the pinnacle of that right there. I think you're going to really enjoy it.
All right, we're also going to be looking at the Dusky 25T. And guys, I got to tell you, my dad always said a clean boat is a happy boat. And like all Duskies, just laid out clean and simple and ready to go offshore and get her dirty.
What about the Blackfin 332cc? Let me tell you, that boat won the Innovation Award at the Miami Boat Show, and there's plenty of reasons why. The layout was fantastic. George, I love that size. You can still trailer it. It's kind of a sweet spot. It's almost to the unlimited category. There was a lot to love about this big Blackfin.
Well, as always, we got a lot to look at this week. Why don't we get started right now?
When we return, our hosts take a look at a boat designed for quietly hunting shallow water gamefish, the Salt Marsh Heron 18. But first, let's join FS boating editor George Labonte as he speaks about the importance of operator awareness while underway in this week's seminar segment.
On behalf of Florida's FWC, I'd like to take this moment to remind boaters everywhere of an important safety message. FWC urges you to maintain a proper 360-degree sharp lookout at all times while operating a vessel. Statistically, nearly 1/4 of all boating accidents are the result of people not maintaining a proper lookout or just not paying attention. People out on the water enjoying a day off in the sun tend to become careless at times. Add alcohol to this mix and the likelihood of something going wrong increases exponentially. This is why it's important for you to assume that most of the people you share the water with either don't know the rules of the road or aren't strictly adhering to them. Remember, as an operator of a vessel, you're not only responsible for your own well-being, but also that of the other people you share the boat with. The responsible thing for you to do to ensure everyone's safety is pay attention, anticipate the action of boaters around you, and act rather than react to avoid any potential boating mishaps.
This segment brought to you by Fishing Nosara, the best sport fishing in Costa Rica.
Fishing Nosara, Costa Rica's best sport fishing. Fight the world's baddest fish with top quality boats, professional tackle, and family-friendly English-speaking captains. Stay in the authentic nature preserve with wildlife at your doorstep. World-class surfing, nature tours, yoga, and fine dining are all at your fingertips in Nosara. Packages start at $700 per person. Don't delay, book today.
Welcome back to Florida Sportsman Best Boat. Join our hosts as they take a closer look at the Salt Marsh Heron 18. Representing the flats boat category, the Salt Marsh Heron 18 has an overall length of 18 feet 6 inches, a beam of 6 feet 5 inches, and a max horsepower rating of 90. Designed for easy poling in the shallowest of waters, she has a draft of 9 to 12 inches, a dead rise of 6 degrees, a dry weight of 650 pounds, and a fuel capacity of 22 gallons. Now, let's hear more from our hosts.
Guys, I'm really excited today about what we've got ahead of us. We're on a Salt Marsh Heron 18 today, and as you both know, I've got a ton of experience fishing on one of these boats. I'm really excited to see your take on the boat when we get done with the day.
Well, I tell you what my take is so far. This is a completely different feeling. If I pull up into a cove like this with my boat, fish scatter everywhere. You can sneak up on here where stealth is so important, fish don't even know you're here.
Rick, you're exactly right. This boat is really easy to get into the shallow water with, but at the same time, it offers a really nice ride in the chop too. So I want you to think about that while we're running the thing today, and at the end of the day, we'll revisit this topic. I think you're both going to be really impressed. Now, for an 18-foot technical skiff, an 18-foot skiff of any kind, the Heron really stands out when it comes to the ride department. Okay, this boat is a very soft, very dry riding boat. It actually feels like a much bigger boat, and there's a few reasons that contribute to that. The first factor is this boat is laid up with carbon, Kevlar, and fiberglass together, which makes for a really solid, really strong hull. The next thing is the integrated spray rail on this boat, which is unique. Not unique to flats boats in particular, but this boat really has a very exaggerated spray rail that's molded into the hull. Water coming up from the bottom when you're hitting a boat wake or any kind of oncoming chop is deflected outward and downward away from the boat. Everybody on board the boat today, and every day I've ever spent on one of these boats, stays dry unless you're in really extreme conditions.
Two critical characteristics for a poling skiff. They have to be quiet. Now, what does that mean? That means you can't have hull slap against them, making noise and spooking the fish. And they've got to be agile. You've got to be able to turn them on a dime. Oh my goodness, the Salt Marsh 18 Heron blew those two things out of the water. She was silent, she was deadly.
Another feature unique to the Salt Marsh Heron 18 is a variable radius transom. What this is basically a narrowing transom that has rounded corners, and this is going to accomplish a couple of different things. First, when you're pulling the boat is going to actually pull a lot quieter when you're going down sea. The water's going to break around the boat a lot easier, and also when you're trying to push the boat into a hard turn, it turns a lot more quietly and a lot easier as well.
One of the absolute key features in any flat skiff is stability, and can you fish three people? Let me tell you, we were up on the bow casting, we had somebody in the back poling, we had all the room we needed.
Normally on a flat boat, I always think of one, maybe two people, and to have three up on that bow and fishing all day, working around that boat, it was incredible.
You know, something that's come on the scene with flats boats in the last few years has been the need for a big release well. They've got a large center well that is mounted perfectly to keep your center of gravity where it should be and gives you plenty of room to keep fish in there alive all day long.
So not only did we have all that storage back in the stern, there was a whole other compartment up in the bow for storage. Could not believe that all that was on an 18-foot flats boat.
Not only do they have great rod racks in the gunnels, but they're plenty long enough for the longest fly rod, and the reels are protected by a pad of sea deck. A very nice touch and something only a serious fisherman would think of.
Now this Heron 18, powered with a 90 E-Tech outboard, jumps out of the hole, which is really important when you're in shallow water, and it's economical. We saw 7 to 8 mile per gallon efficiency with this boat, which is good for any boat. You say that the boat was really dry, you say the boat was stable and plenty roomy for 3 people, but I mean fish-wise, what's your impression of the boat? It feels like much more than, when you look at the boat from the outside and you get in it, you feel like you're in a totally different boat. Am I wrong?
No, you're exactly right. There is so much difference in being in a boat like this, and this one in particular. When we got in real shallow water, we're watching snook right there, right there. They have no idea we're here. It's not like the pressure weight that a bigger boat puts out. This thing can sneak up on anything.
Mel and Rory and Aaron over there at Salt Marsh Ancona have proven to us that you can get a boat with carbon, Kevlar, fiberglass laminate, quality components, laid up with beautiful finish work and a ride like you guys experienced today, and not have to go up into the stratosphere. This is down-to-earth pricing on a really cool boat. If you haven't taken a ride on a Salt Marsh Heron 18, you owe it to yourself.
When we return, our hosts examine a boat built to handle the demands of serious offshore fishermen, the Dusky 252T. This segment brought to you by FWC, the Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission.
Boating with family and friends is a great way to enjoy Florida's waterways.
Hey Mom, can I go sit up front?
Yeah, just be careful.
But even experienced boaters may not recognize all the risks of improper seating or standing locations.
Okay guys, hold on, here we go.
Bow riding is dangerous. Passengers should only sit in designated seating areas while underway. Be aware and stay safe.
Welcome back to Florida Sportsman Best Boat. Join our hosts as they take a closer look at the Dusky 252T. Representing the 20 to 26 foot class in the center console category, the Dusky 252T has an overall length of 25 feet 2 inches, a beam of 8 feet 5 inches, and a max horsepower rating of 350. Built for hardcore offshore fishing, she has a draft of 13 inches, a dead rise of 20 degrees, a dry weight of 3,700 pounds, and a fuel capacity of 100 gallons. Now, let's hear more from our hosts.
All right, boys, I got you all set up for offshore fishing today. I got the rods in the boat, I got the cooler loaded down, and you're trading me today for Sushi. She's gonna ride out with you, and I'm gonna meet you back at the sandbar later. How about that?
That sounds like a plan.
Should be quieter. Hey, George, let me tell you a story. Dusky started out 53 years ago to build fishing boats. This is the epitome of that journey.
Absolutely. We're on the 252T today. The T actually is designated for tournament fishing, and the difference between this boat and other 25s we've seen is they remove the forward seating and make this a more fish hard kind of, serious combat boat that you can fish 360 around. I'm really excited. There's been a couple of sailfish around. Gonna have a hot day. We need to get rolling. Why don't we get down there and see if we can bend a rod?
We're gone.
All right. Off the boat, you.
Oh,
You
bye,
stay right
Sushi.
there. The Dusky 252T is a classic example of the old if it's not broken, don't fix it rule. Now what the 252T actually is a modified version of the old standby 25 Dusky that we all know and love. It's been around for decades. The 252T, however, has been modified to make it more amenable to the needs of a serious tournament type of fisherman.
One of the features that made this boat the tournament edition, they forego the traditional bow seating that so many companies are using and that they use on their standard 252, and they put a center coffin box in it, frigid rigid. What a great idea. Very comfortable seating with a nice backrest and a true 360-degree fishing platform.
Without forward seating, the tournament edition of this boat is awesome in my opinion. I don't really have any need for seats. If you're cruising around on the Intracoastal or hanging out, and when that's great, they're perfect. But out here, you want to be able to work around the bow of the boat when you got fish on. And example, we had a double header of fish on there today, and we both caught the fish up there, and we had no problem clearing line around and grabbing leaders. It's perfect.
Well, I gotta tip my cap to you because you spotted the second fish. We got a bait up there, we got it to him in seconds, and he was on. We never could have done that if we'd had to step over coolers and step around seats and all that. I love the Dusky 252T just the way it's laid out. Talk about a tournament quality boat. Let's talk about live wells. This one had a dandy. First off, it's right in the rocket launcher. It's big, it's round, it's got plenty of water flowing through it, and it's nice and high with a glass top. First off, you don't have to bend over down in the deck to get bait, and at a glance you can tell what kind of shape your bait's in.
Now when the original 25 Dusky was built, this was a boat that was commonly seen in weather a lot of people with a 25-foot boat wouldn't even think about going in today. One thing that's going to make you a lot more comfortable in this rough weather on a boat is the Dusky drive. Now Dusky, this is their own design. They're one of the first people to put an engine outside of the boat and close the transom. And what this is going to do is going to give you much more security and keep your feet dry, keep everybody, feeling a lot better about being out there when the weather gets rough.
The Dusky step hull not only handles great, but she is fully powered with a single 350. It makes it possible for you to fish further, fish longer, and be able to do it on a budget.
The Dusky 252T offers at 30 miles an hour, just below 30 miles an hour cruising, 3.5 miles per gallon efficiency, which is really impressive. But even more impressive, at 50 miles an hour, it's still giving you 2 miles per gallon efficiency.
Cap, I gotta tell you, I couldn't believe when you were ready to leave those sailfish this morning. But you know what? Pretty sweet in here out of the sun.
They did add a couple of luxury features, and this is definitely one of them. How about this top?
I've always thought these things would be way too much trouble and not worth it. They had this thing up in 90 seconds, and you are totally blocked from the sun or the rain.
I'm just glad you guys decided to finally pick me up today after your day of fishing, but I see that you put out the queen's share.
You like that, huh?
Listen, no joke, you guys. When I was loading the boat up this morning for you, inside here, the options are endless. You've got a cooler, and you can divide it. So you can have cooler, you can have storage, you can have fish box, you can have storage. Whatever you want for the day.
Okay, let alone the fact that you've got a cooler underneath you. What a great place to sit. This is removable. What a great backrest. I was riding out here. I couldn't believe I would have taken a nap while we were underway. And we had a few different times where I fought a fish from there and just sat down and got comfortable just cranking on a fish. I mean, it serves a bunch of purposes. While the 25 bottom remains unchanged, the topside configuration, changing that to suit the needs of modern sport fishing tactics, is definitely not out of their wheelhouse, and they're not afraid to do that. They've done a terrific job with the 252T of bringing this boat up to speed.
When we come back, our hosts step aboard a boat that combines offshore capability with family comfort, the Blackfin 332cc. This segment brought to you by Yamaha. Reliability starts here.
An entirely new species of extreme predator is moving offshore. The Yamaha 5.6-liter V8 XTO offshore outboard. Extreme big block thrust and power in the industry's first direct injection 4-stroke. Quiet, efficient, powerful, and proven Yamaha reliability. More than an outboard, it's a fully integrated power system. The all-new Yamaha V8 XTO offshore.
Welcome back to Florida Sportsman Best Boat. Join our hosts as they check out the Blackfin 332cc. Representing the 33 to 53 foot class in the center console category, the Blackfin 332cc has an overall length of 33 feet 2 inches, a beam of 10 feet 6 inches, and a max horsepower rating of 900. Engineered for serious fishability and comfort, she has a draft of 23 inches, a dead rise of 23 degrees, a dry weight of 10,500 pounds, and a fuel capacity of 315 gallons. Now, let's hear more from our hosts.
All right, guys, we're on the Blackfin 332 center console today. You know, this boat won an award at Miami, Innovation Award for versatility, and the boat's got a lot to offer us today. I'm really excited to see what it's going to show us on the water.
George, everybody knows I stock the boat in the morning. Lunches, gear for sandbar, lifestyle, so forth. The compartment layout on this boat is fantastic. Everything has a home, so thought out already.
And I can tell you that everything for us to go fishing is ready. I love the fish boxes, the rod holder placements, the live well with the clear window to check on our baits during the day. We're ready to fish.
The new face of Blackfin doesn't really share any similarities with the Blackfins of yesterday. This is a boat company that's got its own personality. The result of the hard work of a team of engineers is a boat that's got over-engineered bulletproof hardware and a very classy aesthetic.
Everywhere you look on this boat, every hawse pipe, every cleat, everything is built the way it should be. This boat can take the abuse that the ocean can put out every day.
This boat was an exceptional performer in the offshore conditions that we fished it under. The 10.5-foot beam on this boat and the 23-degree dead rise provided a really soft ride and absolutely ate up the seas.
One of the keys to having a good helm station rocket launcher setup is how it's laid out. Blackfin did a good job with this. You had plenty of room behind the rods to rig your tackle, and I need a good cutting board. They had the coolest setup on the Blackfin. It actually snapped into place and was very secure. If you wanted to rig a split tail mullet or you wanted to clean a mahi, it was there for you.
Rick, I'll tell you what's really coming in handy here. I mean, we're sitting on top of this wreck and trying to hold my position here, and I'm really digging this blacked out underside on the hardtop. And on top of the fact that it's giving us a ton of shade, trying to hold on here with the sun shining underneath it, it's really helping me see these screens. I mean, this is a really small spot, and it's really important that I stay right on top of it. It's made that much easier with this blacked out underside on this dash.
All right, if we're right on top of it, let's drop a bait on them, Bubba. It's time to get one. One thing that I really liked about the helm station and the transom is they both had clear window live wells. Now that not only looks cool, but today we had pilchards and whitebait to use for bait. And what stresses them out more than anything is opening a dark well, blinding them with the light, and then closing it back. they stayed alive beautifully, and we were able to keep them balanced by taking a bait out of whichever live well was holding more at the time.
The tackle center on this boat was incredible, but the best part is I was able to take the tackle station and make it into my kitchen area and set up for lunch. Dual coolers. I had one on the port side, one on the starboard side, and what I love about that is I had my food in one and my drinks in another, so nobody had to search for anything. I had not only the dual coolers, dual sinks. In between that, plenty of room to set up for lunch.
Now, I'm not a big sandbar guy, but one thing I will admit about this Blackfin is it had probably one of the coolest designs for a bow shade canopy that was really easy to set up and was easy to put away and get out of the way. This is just a simple matter of adding a couple of poles to the front of the boat and hooking this canopy top to that and then going to the front of the hard top. And let me tell you what, when we ate lunch at the sandbar on this day, that shade was a welcome relief from that hot sun.
Hey Cap, remember when lunch on a day's offshore fishing meant sitting on a motor cowling with a warm beer and a sandwich?
Not today, old man, that's in the past.
Check this out, buddy, I'm gonna tell you what.
How great is this sunshade, by the way?
When I first saw these things, I thought that was the dumbest thing I'd ever seen. This thing is fantastic.
All right, I gotta point something out. Did you guys lose weight? Listen, you know when you get to a booth at a restaurant, you squeeze in? I have so much room. This is like, I think the largest lounge area I've been on.
This thing is well engineered. So many boats we go on, the lounge area up front's kind of an afterthought. No, sir. This thing is comfortable.
Let's point out why it's so comfortable here. First thing, look at how much leg room we've got underneath here. Look how thick the padding is on the seat. And also look at the high backs, this cushion right here. I feel like I'm in a booth in a nice restaurant right here, you know what I'm saying?
That's why I said you didn't have to suck in, George.
Exactly. Just this one time.
Yes.
One of the standout features on the Blackfin for me was all this over-engineered hardware that I saw at every turn on the boat. Among those was a unique pantographic door hinge design that provided access to the console. It allows you to open the door without opening the door into the space so you can walk by. But more importantly, it's a really rugged, heavy-duty piece of polished hardware that they build in-house on this. You can see that they take all of the engineering on this boat very seriously, and nowhere is it more evident than in this door design.
Guys, I can't say a favorite part of the day. The whole entire day was great, and I can contribute that to I felt safe all day. The wide gunnels, all the cushioning, and it was just, I couldn't have been more comfortable.
You know what, this boat, we had a lot of extra time to spend on this boat, and it is really over-engineered, overbuilt. It is just a rugged, really pretty boat. What a clean machine.
Blackfin may be a whole new company. They not only kept the name, man, this thing is built tough.
All right, guys, another week in the books with 3 great boats. I don't want summer to end, so I can't wait for next week because I know it's getting ready to end soon. I just want the boats to keep on coming.
They'll keep coming. Hey, if you'd like any information about the boat you saw this week or any boat you see on Best Boat, visit us at floridasportsman.com.
Or we'll see you next week on another episode of Florida Sportsman Best Boat.